my chosen object is a brain scanner, and it's called an fMRI scanner, and fMRI is short for functional magnetic resonance imaging. And this machine is really good, and it can visualize the neural activity in your brain when you are doing certain tasks. For example, if you, let's say you're solving very difficult mathematical problems, and so certain parts of your brain are recruited for solving this problem, and hence they need more energy. And what the brain does is it will pump more blood into these different areas, and thereby increasing the levels of oxygen and glucose to support these increased activities. The changes in the blood oxygen level will then be picked up by this machine, and through very sophisticated mathematical modeling and statistical analysis, and then we can eventually translate the increases in blood oxygen into the very bright, colorful colors onto a computerized 3D brain. So by doing that, eventually we can literally see where this activity comes from, and thereby understanding the relationships between different brain activities and certain cognitive processes and behavior. So this is my mind reading machine. So an important part of my research is focused on the sort of inner speech experiences during silent reading of written stories, specifically when we read direct speech quotations. So imagine you're reading a book, and then there's some characters talking in the book, in the stories, and so when I read it, my brain sort of generates some kind of voices, and as if these characters are actually talking to me. And but this is very subjective experience. I can't really say for you, for example, whether you can hear voices or not. So I can use this machine to look into your mind. So I'll invite you to lie in the scanner. I'll show you different kinds of written stories, and some stories contain direct speech quotations, and some of the stories don't. And I'll compare your neural activity when you read speech quotations versus just narrative sentences. And I'll see what's the difference in terms of your brain activations when you read different kinds of written sentences. And what we found so far is that when you read a speech quotation, there's certain areas of your brain, and those brains that are typically recruited for processing actual voices in your auditory region. And these brain areas actually become more activated when you read a speech quotation as compared to a narrative sentence. And that's the sort of objective evidence of some kind of auditory processing going on when you read a speech quotation. And so this is an example of how I can use an fMRI scanner to find objective evidence for your subjective experience. I was not a psychology student to begin with, actually. I was a biology student. It's a funny story, really. So during the second year of my undergraduate study, let's say I was not one of these hard-working students. I wanted to find a way to spend less time studying and still get a good mark in exams. So I came across this book on photographic memory, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. Maybe I can train myself to develop this ability to remember all the textbooks photographically. So in exam, I can just retrieve a page, and here you are, that's the answer. I'll just write the answer down. And obviously, as you may have figured, that didn't work out very well. And but on the positive side, and it did get me interested in the science of reading. So I have all sorts of questions like how fast can we read, and then how much information can we possibly remember through reading, and then how does the brain translate or convert that printed symbols into meaning, and how is meaning actually represented in the brain? So these questions sort of intrigued me into the study of psychology after my undergraduate degree. I became a psychology researcher through my PhD studies. So after my undergraduate study, I decided I really want to uncover the secret of language processing. And so I went to the University of Glasgow and did my doctoral training there. And through that experience, I've learned all the necessary skills that are needed for doing psychological research independently, like statistical analysis, research methods, experimental design and critical thinking, and also specialized skills for using one of these cutting-edge techniques such as fMRI. So after my PhD, I'm trained in research, and I've been doing independent research till this day. I'm here at the University of Manchester. And the psychology department in Manchester is actually the oldest department in the UK. It's over 100 years now. We just celebrated the 100-year anniversary recently. What particularly interests me is it has all the cutting-edge facilities that we need to study the brain, especially in the imaging facilities. We have 3 fMRI scanners around the campus, and we have a purpose-built EEG facility for recording electrophysiological signals of the brain. We have TMS, we have TDCS, and we have all sorts of facilities that we need to study the brain. Another thing is that Manchester has a very international environment, both for the students and for the staff members. And I particularly enjoy that because I'm a true believer of globalization and exchanging different ideas and cultures through collaborations across different countries and different cultures. So I really enjoy my time here. And I hope if you're interested, you should come to Manchester as well. And then you will have the most amazing time here, apart from the weather, by the way.